Today we're going to do something a little bit different doing our sermon, and we've got it all prepared, so I'm excited for this. We've done this before, it's not our first time. We're going to break up into small conversations, and I want you to do two things. First is react to the announcement I'm going to give you, and then second, we have a question that our organizer Monique Vasquez will give us so that we can be able to have these interesting conversations. So here's the announcement that I want to give you. Several months ago, we had small conversations in relationship to what would we do with our field to the south. Right? It's been an empty field. For those of you who've been around here longer than I have, you have known that to be an empty field. And it's been a baseball field, and it's been a soccer field, but it's been basically an empty field that for years it has been mowed. It is mowed day in and day out and day in and day out, and that's what it's been doing. That's what we've been doing mostly with that field. And so we started having conversations about what could we do with that. And what came out of those conversations, I see some of you who are there in those conversations, two big things came out. One was, it's been a field where we've played in before, so why don't we keep it as a park? And it could be something that the neighborhood could use because the neighborhood needs a park. And people said, another big group said, well, but what, we've been talking about homelessness and affordable housing. Why couldn't it be used for affordable housing? Those were the two big things. There were a couple of other things, but very small, like making a mobile home park or turning it into a food truck area, right? So the big things, really about 48% of the people said either a park or affordable housing. So we went and had conversations with Foundations community. People even went and did some research by going and checking out what the apartments would look like. Would we want to partner with that organization? Would we sell it to them? And it turns out that although they are interested and they would like to be able to build something, they could build up to 90 apartments for families. There is not enough money for that because the way the city's tax breaks work, they would need over and above $10 million at a minimum to develop that property. And so they're saying if we ever would, it's not this year, it's not next year, and who knows when. So the vestry had conversations and they said, well, that seems like a far out project. We really have no idea if they really could ever do it. And then it'd sit there, and really, a lot of people really do want to see this developed as a nice park for the neighborhood, and that's another really good thing for the community. We as a vestry really want to embark on that track, right? And so there's been conversations with the park. They're still interested. The Departments of Parks and Recs from the City of Austin, they're still interested. We'll see. We're having a meeting on the 29th of November where some vestry members and some people from the Buildings and Grounds will gather to learn more about it. So we'd like for you to react to that, to see, how does that land with you? And so there's that. And then Monique, what's the question? You need to come to the front and get on a mic so that people can see you and hear you, because you folks who are at Zoom, don't think you're not going to get to participate. Ms. Sandra Ward is ready to engage, to have that conversation with you. So, yeah, because we need voice.
All right. Thank you all for participating in advance. So the question that we're going to have you react to today is, what is one concern that keeps you up at night, or one thing that you've been dealing with? And the second part of that question is to reflect then on how would you like to work with St. John's to address it. So first, think about one concern that's keeping you up at night.
All right, and so we're going to divide. So stand up if you're leading a conversation. I think Ms. Lisa, 1, 2, 3, and then I believe Monique and I will do another one. So we're going to have, there's 7 people. I think we divided by 7 people. We have enough folks, because I think you're doing one, right, Mr. Davis? So good. Support
came undone.
No, I think it's not because I think of that. So that is why part of periodically throughout the years, we just check in, and this helps us stay connected and start developing and looking at our agenda of issues to see what needs to change, what do we need to adapt. So thank you so much for taking this time to join us and have these conversations that are not always easy.